We're reading from Srimad Bhagavad-gītā, from chapter 16, entitled The Divine and Demonic Natures. Text 3. Actually, we will speak on one of the qualities from text 3, because I have discussed these qualities in different places, but I have never finished because we discuss usually one at a time, and there are 26 of them. So I never stay for 26 days at one place. So and I have online recorded these qualities. It's one playlist called Divine Qualities. So if anyone is interested, you can look up in my channel. It's called Consciousness Revolution on YouTube. So today we will discuss Dhṛtiḥ, or here Prabhupada translates as fortitude. This is from the 3rd verse of 16th chapter. And in these 3 verses, Lord Krishna explains the divine qualities, 26 divine qualities. Daivī-sampad, he calls them. But then the majority of this 16th chapter is dedicated to description of demonic qualities. So, according to Krishna's opinion, it's very good to understand both divine and also demonic qualities, so that we would know in what way we should strive for and what to avoid very carefully. Because we have also demonic tendencies in our heart, and the proof of this is our body. Yes. If there wouldn't be a material body, that there wouldn't be demonic qualities. But so there are demonic qualities, and these divine qualities should be acquired. And the 3rd verse goes, Teja kshama dhṛtiḥ shocham adrohunati manita bhavanti sampadam daivīm abhijatasya bharata. That he explains that Teja means power. Let me see how Prabhupada translates. He translates as vigor. Vigor means power. Vigor, forgiveness, fortitude. This is translation of Dhṛtiḥ. And this Dhṛtiḥ and Shocham is cleanliness, and then it's freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. Yes, these are last mentioned divine qualities. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. So we should become godly men endowed with divine nature. This is the purpose of hearing Bhagavad-gītā, actually, and of spiritual practice. Of course, I stress very much all the time when I'm discussing these qualities shouldn't be practiced separate from bhakti, to be a good person. Our goal is not to become a good person. Our goal is to become that we become pleasing to Krishna. Yes, because everything is meant for Krishna's pleasure. We have mentioned this few times already. You should know this. Everything that exists is meant only for Krishna's pleasure and for nothing else. There is no other purpose. And only devotees know this. That everything is meant for Krishna's pleasure, not for my aggrandizement. Once there was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and he was a very intelligent young man, and parents came to visit him, and Prabhupada was also there. And his parents were really disturbed because their son gave up his studies and so on. And they said he lost all his ambition in life. And this is very disturbing for us. And there was also one other disciple who tried to convince their parents, that the parents of this boy, that he has different type of ambition. He wants to develop spiritual perfection. But Prabhupada confirmed this. Yes, he lost his ambitions. He just wants to render some menial service and nothing else. And then when this other disciple wanted to convince the parents that now he has spiritual ambitions, he said no. Prabhupada said no. He just wants to be a servant. And actually this should be our longing, to just become a servant, a humble servant, not demanding servant. Because immediately when we demand something, when we expect anything, it means that we try to occupy the position of the Lord. Because then we are entitled to something. But servant means is not entitled to anything. Not for honor, not to be respected, or anything like this. Therefore, Trinada Pisunichana Taroriva Suhishnana Amanina Manatena Kirtanya Sada Hari is the key for spiritual perfection. There is no other way. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya stressed this so much. And also these qualities, therefore, that should be acquired, strived for. So that means that we should strive for these qualities, but not that we would be nice person, that we would be honorable and noble person, because noble person have such qualities. But only with one purpose, to satisfy Krishna. Yes, Krishna, let me be very determined, Dhṛtiḥ, fortitude, that means great courage and determination. And this Dhṛtiḥ is constantly repeated throughout our Shastra with slightly different meanings translated, because it has many nuances of meanings. Can mean determination, patience. For example, this Dhṛtiḥ in 18th chapter, it's explained Dhṛtiḥ or determination. There is translated determination in goodness, passion, and ignorance. And we have Dhīra. I believe that majority of you know the word Dhīra. That is sage, determined sage, and who have clear understanding, his Dhīra. And this Dhīra is mentioned also by Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamrita, in first verse of Upadeshamrita, Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jihva vegam, udarapasta vegam, etan vegam yo vishaketa dhīraha, sarvama pimam pritivim sashishyat. So, one who is Dhīra, and every one of us should become a Dhīra. This is the purpose. Those who have Dhṛtiḥ are Dhīra. Should tolerate these urges of the body and not engage in them. And when he describes first the qualities, Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamrita, that are detrimental for our bhakti, and then he explains the qualities that are conducive, that are very good for our bhakti. And he says, Utsaha nishcha dharyat, and we have again this word in some slightly different form, Utsaha nishcha dharyat. And dharyat means, Prabhupada translates as patience. That we are very much patient in our spiritual life. Utsaha means enthusiasm. Nishchaya means conviction, firm determination, is also overlapping with the meaning. And great faith, firm faith in the process is nishchaya. And dharyat means great patience and also determination. And our acharyas explain that proper dhira, or to have this dhṛtiḥ, is to control these urges of the senses. Yes, vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam. And Lord Krishna in the next chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, in 17th chapter, explains this vacho vegam, how to control our speech. And it's very important to control our speech. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in his commentary to these verses from Upadeshamrita, he explains that one should practice mauna vrata, actually. But this means speaking of Krishna only, nothing else. If one is speaking too much, he says, then he will have many enemies. Materialists speak too much, and therefore they have many enemies. And we can see practically those on social these media platforms that they speak too much, they have many enemies. Because usually what people speak about, they criticize. What to speak about? If you don't speak about Krishna, you speak what? You criticize. You criticize this and that. You're not satisfied with this and with that. You have so many reasons to be dissatisfied. Yeah. And whatever way you turn, there is some dissatisfaction. Isn't it? Yes. So don't speak too much. If you don't speak about Krishna, don't speak too much. Yes. This is the way of spiritual success. Yes. It's very hard not to speak, because vacha vegam is very strong. Maybe for women even more than for men. Yes. But if one wants at all to be spiritually successful, he has to be patient. And actually to act against the whole social norms needs great fortitude, courage and determination and strength. Yes. Because everyone expects you to be like them, isn't it? And if you are not like one of them, they hate you usually. Because especially if you are not complete loser, some bum, drunken bum somewhere, then they say, okay. Yes. But if you're not a drunken bum, you are becoming a threat for their idea of happiness, because you are different. You have different idea of happiness, and they hate this. Yes, because this is the law of material life. We have some attachments and some aversions. These are called raga and dvesha. Raga and dvesha. And this is because of asmita, of identification, material identification. I identify with my culture, I identify with my language, I identify with the food I like, I identify with my environment in which I live, I identify with my society, with my friends, my school, with my football club. So many things are anchors of my identification in this life. So I like everything that supports my existence, because I accept all these different identifications as my existence. And whatever is against, I consider against my existence, against these things, my ideas of being happy, because I want to be happy. This is my nature. Ananda mayo vyasat. I cannot live without happiness. And these identifications are just to be happy. And everything that goes against these identifications, I hate. Even for devotees, this is very, we have to be very cautious of this, not to hate different people who have different ideas of their of achieving a perfection or happiness. So we can be merciful towards those in illusion, but never hateful to anyone, or they have any idea of other spiritual path. They can take, and we can respect them. And as Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, when I go to some place of worship that they worship my Lord in different way that I worship Him, I just observe their type of worshipping my lover, my Lord. And I'm greatly satisfied that they also worship my Lord. But I prefer my way. Yes. So we should be very respectful for everyone who tries to develop some kind of relationship with the Lord, and never be hateful towards anyone. Yes. Or like Jesus said, we hate the disease, not the diseased. So we hate material conditioning, ignorance, and therefore we try to dissipate this by preaching, by distributing books, and so on, by prayer, and so on. But never be averse to anyone. Yes. So yes, this Dhṛtiḥ is so important. And then he explains, these acharyas explain how to control our speech. It is, as I said, there is 3 kinds of austerities mentioned in 17th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā. And austerity of speech is anudvega karam vakyam, satyam priyam hitam chayat, swadhyaya abhyasanam cheva, vanmayanta pauchati. So the austerity of speech is to always to not disturb others with our speech. This is first austerity. Yes, first austerity of speech is not to disturb anyone. And it's easy to disturb, and very pleasurable if we are in conflict with someone. there is one Slovenian book. It's basically funny book for children, actually, from the beginning of or middle of 19th century or something. And there is a story of one extremely strong person from Slovenia, a peasant, who met emperor, Austrian emperor. He was going on his way. He was on his way to Trieste, or Trst, as we say in Slovene. How do you say Trieste? Do you have any special word for Trieste in Czech? No? You don't know. So you know the city of Trieste is on Adriatic Sea. It's actually on the border with Slovenia. Now it's Italy, but of course it was a part of Austrian Empire. And the emperor was going through Slovenian places, countryside, to Trieste. And he met this very strong peasant. He was called Martin Krpan. And it was winter time, and the road was very narrow, and this Martin Krpan took his horse and put it from the path away in deep snow. And this emperor was very impressed by the strength of Martin Krpan. And then later on, a terrible demon called Bardaus came to Vienna, because the emperors were living in Vienna, and killed all the noble people, including the son of the emperor. And no one could kill this demon. So the chariot driver of the emperor reminded the emperor that they met this strong guy somewhere in Slovenian places, this Martin Krpan, and that it would be wise to call this Martin Krpan to kill the Bardaus. And really they called him, and he came, and he tried all the horses in the court, and all the horses were too weak for him. And then he said that they should bring his horse, who was looking very shriveled and small. But these great king's horses were not good enough for him. So, but he said, I don't want to fight with these weak horses here, because then this horse will fall apart under my heavy weight. So it's impossible to fight with such horses. So they brought his horse, and then he was trying to find the best weapon to fight, and whatever he grabbed just fell apart in his hands. So he decided to make his own weapon, and he went to some blacksmith place, and he was banging, and it came out some great axe. And then he needed also a club, and he cut some tree from the garden of the emperor, and the empress was extremely disturbed by this, because he cut down the tree under which she was sitting in the shade in hot summers. And she was extremely disturbed by this. And then she didn't like this Martinkarpan. And he was also, then he came in conflict with some minister of this emperor. And why I'm telling all this story? Because he had very quick wit, this Martinkarpan. He could very quickly respond with very humorous and sarcastic responses. And he said, when I fight with someone with words, I purposefully say something that I disturb him even more. I will not give him some cake to eat. I will say something to disturb him even more. So we shouldn't act like this. I wanted to point out that it's such a pleasure to find such words that we disturb this opponent even more. But we should refrain from such pleasure. Yes, such pleasure is never good for our spiritual life. Yes. So, anudvega karam vakyam. First thing is not to disturb anyone. The second thing is for our words should be true. Yes. It's in the nature of conditioned living entity that he's prone to cheat others. And not only to cheat others, but to cheat ourselves also. So, many times we are convinced on some blind faith of something, of some material things or any kind of things, and we claim that yes, this is true, but we don't know if it's really true or not. And this is cheating, actually. If it's not supported by Guru Sadhu Shastra, and we claim that something is true, it's cheating. Cheating ourselves and cheating others. So yes, we should be careful. Our words should be true. There was some story, I believe you have heard about it, from some Greek philosopher. Someone came to a famous Greek philosopher, I forgot the name, and said, have you heard about this person? And he wanted to explain what. And this philosopher said, wait a minute, before you speak, I want to know if this is true what you have heard. And he said, yes, everyone is saying so, but do you know if it is true? I don't know, actually. So, okay, you don't know if it's true. Is it beneficial? And he said, no, actually it's not beneficial. And he asks some more question about this. So, it's not true, it's not beneficial, so why you bother me with this? So, we should also be very careful to speak only through true words and beneficial words. Even if something is true, maybe it's not beneficial. Why we should speak unbeneficial words, actually? For example, from our Shastra, there was one sage whose vow was to speak only the truth. And then he was living in some remote, lonely place. And then some people came running before some dacoits, and they hid somewhere near this place. And he saw them, this sage. And then these dacoits came and asked this sage where these people went. And he told them the truth. They went there. And they were killed and robbed by these dacoits. So at the end of life, he wasn't liberated as he expected. But he was taken to Yamaraj and severely punished for speaking the truth. And so his true words were not beneficial. Actually caused great harm with his true words. So we should be careful. Even if our words are true, are they beneficial for anyone? So this is also Dhṛtiḥ. To be dhīra means to control our speech. Better to be silent than to speak words that are not beneficial. Yes. Sometimes even truth is not lie, so-called lie, can be beneficial. Also, the famous story from Mahabharata, when Krishna wanted Yudhishthira to lie. He instructed him to speak up that Ashvatthama is dead, because only then Dronacharya would put aside his weapons. Otherwise, he was unconquerable, Dronacharya. And so for him to put off his weapons, only he was too much attached to Ashvatthama, his son. So only the idea that Ashvatthama is dead would cause him to give up fighting. And although Bhima said that Ashvatthama is killed, and he cheered, yes, Ashvatthama is killed, he didn't believe Bhima, because he believed no one, actually, that Ashvatthama is dead. But when Yudhishthira said, he knew that Yudhishthira wouldn't tell a lie, never in his life. So he believed, and he put away his weapons and just sat in meditation. Yes. Of course, we know that Yudhishthira said quietly, the elephant, Ashvatthama the elephant, is dead, because he didn't want to tell lie. But if it is pleasing for Krishna, then such a lie is absolute truth. Yes. We should understand this. We shouldn't be attached to mundane morality. This is the point. This is the teaching of Krishna. We should never be attached to mundane morality or to mundane immorality for our sense gratification. We shouldn't be attached to anything just to please Krishna. I just want to make this point again and again and again. Krishna is the center of my existence. And for his pleasure, I'm ready to kill, cheat, murder, and be angel. Whatever he wants from me, I'm ready to be like this. And I don't care the consequences in this world. Even if I'm dying of starvation or thriving amongst different riches, doesn't matter. My life is Krishna, and I live only for his pleasure. And because he's listing these qualities, Krishna has a purpose that we should achieve these qualities. Therefore, they must be for his pleasure, isn't it? Otherwise, why would he speaking this for us? That means these qualities are for his pleasure. So I should acquire them, not for me to be a nice person, but for Krishna's pleasure. Yes. So we should speak true words, beneficial words, because Krishna is speaking this in 17th chapter about austerity of speech, and so it's obviously for his pleasure. Yes, so we should also do this. Anudvegam karam vakyam satyam priyam, and should be very nice words. Should priya means what is maybe you have this word also in Czech. In Slovene we have something is very nice. Yes, priyati is very. What does it mean?
This means pleasant.
Pleasant, yes. This is the same word as priya. Prijetno. We also have this prijetno in Slovene. Yes, it's pleasant. Yes, priya. So these words should be prijetne. How do you say?
Příjemné.
Príjemné, yes. Yes, priya. This is the same. And Prabhupada explains in the purport to this priya that only the guru or father or mother should be strict with his words towards his disciples or children. Yes. Otherwise, why should we be harsh to anyone? Yesterday, I believe, Manidhar Prabhu was speaking some story of Prabhupada with me personally, and he said that there was one coarse fool coming to Prabhupada, and he declared that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But he was such a fool that Prabhupada didn't bother with him. He just said, "Please accept my humble obeisance." And he sent him away. So he didn't use any strong language against such a fool because it wouldn't be beneficial for him, and it's definitely not pleasant. But for his disciples, many times he could be very strong, because that was beneficial for them. So we should also be strong with our children, for example, especially boys. They need strict discipline. This is beneficial for them. Yes. Especially this is a father's duty, of course. Mothers cannot be too much strict. Their duty is to be very loving. But fathers should be very strict, especially with the boys. Yes. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyam hitam chayat. Swadhyaya vyasana cheva van maya tapa uchati. So, Svadhyaya Vyasana Cheva. So we should study the Shastra. This is also austerity of speech, isn't it interesting? Krishna listed this study of Shastra as austerity of speech, because then our words will be supported by Shastra. Otherwise, we cannot speak anything because we don't know if it's true or not, if it's beneficial or not. How we can tell? On the basis of what? If something is beneficial or not, or something is beneficial or not, or true or not. We should know Shastra. Otherwise, we can be just quiet. Yes. And it goes this saying, you cannot tell who's the fool until he speaks. So we should know Shastra and speak on the basis of Shastra and act on the basis of Shastra. Yes. Then our words can be beneficial and can be true. If we are, if we have Shastra Chakshu, the vision of Shastra, it's very important. Yes. And Varchavegam Manasah Krodha Vegam. We should control our mind, not like yogis who artificially try to control their mind through different practices of pranayama and so on, but like devotees. Again, this is stressed by acharyas in their commentaries to Upadeshamrita, Nectar of Instruction, that we should control our mind by sadhana bhakti. And our goal should be Krishna's pleasure again. That I control my mind to think of Krishna. Therefore, I chant my rounds very carefully. We are always stressing this point and coming again and again and again to this same point through different angles of vision. Because it's the basis of our existence, is proper chanting of the holy name. And the control of the mind is possible only through properly executing our devotional life, our devotional service. And that means proper chanting of the holy name also. Yes. And this is actually the most important thing, not just one of them. Most important thing. Of course, we should study Shastra, that we have proper attitude, that we pray to Krishna, that we chant in this prayerful mood. Krishna, please accept me in your service. Please, Radha and Krishna, accept me in your service as your insignificant servant. Otherwise, we will approach Krishna with the same attitude as everyone else in this world approaches God. With the same idea, because we are one of this world. As long as we don't become devotees, we have the same mentality as everyone else. What kind of mentality we could have otherwise? If we don't have devotional mentality, what kind of mentality we could have? Because we were brought up in this material world, we had materialistic parents, we went to materialistic school, we had materialistic friends. So what to expect other than materialistic consciousness? It's not possible to have any other consciousness on our own. So we should dive deep in our spiritual practice, in our sadhana, to acquire spiritual consciousness. Yes, to transcend this conditioned material consciousness. And this is the only proper mind control. Any other mind control is self-centered, not Krishna-centered. Yes. And this self-centered consciousness is material consciousness. And this material self-centered consciousness is accompanying me from time immemorial and couldn't help. Life after life just pushed me here and there, yes, mercilessly. That is said in this verse. Kamadinam katitna katida durmita dirnita. How it is? Kamadinam katina katida durmitas nevishis nivishesas. I forgot the verse. But it's how these senses pushed me here and there, mercilessly, life after life. And I was just serving them, like a menial servant. But they're merciless, without any mercy towards me. And they just kill me life after life. But I decided to give up my service to them, and I will just engage in the service of the Lord. I will check. I'm greatly disturbed. I keep forgetting these verses. Kamadinam katida Kamadinam katina katida palita durnideshas tesan jata mayina karuna. Tesan jata mayina karuna means that are never karuna, mercy. They have no mercy. Natrapa no pashantihi uttijaitan ataya dupatai sampratam labda buddhis tvam ayatak sharanam abhayam mam niyungshvat matasye. So I have decided not to be their servant anymore, but I will become a servant of Krishna. Yes. So, yes, manasa krodha vegam. Krodha is one of the most deadly enemies of the soul. Krishna explains in 3rd chapter of Bhagavad-gītā. Kama yesha krodha yesha rajoguna samudbhava mahashano mahapapma vidinamikavarinam. Most deadly enemy. And it comes from lust only. Kama yesha, krodha yesha. Why it comes from lust? And therefore it's krodha, this anger, is also called Kamanuja, the younger sibling, or brother, or younger sister, or brother, whatever. What is the gender of krodha? Krodha of in Czech. How? What is the word? What is the word? Gnev. Gnev. What is the gender? It's masculine. Yes, Gnev. We also have Gnev, but we have also Yeza. Do you have this word, Yeza? No. Gnev. Yes. So, yes, it's younger brother of lust, of karma. And when our karma is not satisfied, we become angry, because what is anger meant for? It's meant to remove our obstacle to enjoy my senses. I'm really angry. I want to destroy this obstacle. You're coming into my way to enjoy. Or something is coming in my way to enjoy, therefore I'm angry, like fire. And anger is most destructive thing. Destroys every good quality in person. So we should be very cautious about anger. Never allow anger to overcome my consciousness. Never allow anger. Anger is completely destructive. And it is explained by Krishna. The whole process of degradation is coming from lust, actually. About meditating what would be pleasing to me. Dhyato vishayam pumsak sangasteshu pajayate. And then we become attached to it, and from sangasteshu pajayate, kramat krodha bijayate. Dhyato vishayam pumsak sangasteshu pajayate sanjat Sangat sanjayate kamat, kamat krodha vijayate. Krodhat bhavati samoha, samoha smriti vibramshat. Buddhi brahmshat, smriti brahmshat buddhi nasho, buddhi nashat pranashati. Yes, so from karma comes anger, and from anger, kamat krodha vijayati. From comes anger, and krodhat bhavati samoha. And samoha means complete bewilderment of intelligence. Yes. Samohat smriti vibrama. And we lose our remembrance, what is beneficial for me and what is not beneficial for me, actually. Smriti brahmshat buddhinasho. And we lose our intelligence. Yes. Our vivek of what is right and what is not right is completely lost. This is intelligence. And to be able to discriminate what is beneficial and what is not, what is proper and what is not. Everything is lost. And buddhi nashat pranashati. When the intelligence is lost, everything is lost. We just fall down completely. So everything comes from karma. And the next step is krodha. So don't engage in anger at any time, actually. Yeah. Manasa krodha vegam, jihva vegam, udarapasta vegam. Yes, then is the tongue. So we should taste only Krishna Prasad, nothing from materialists, no food from materialists, no snacks, no chips. Yes, because we are Krishna's servants. We just take the remnants of Krishna. Yes, we should have this mentality. Everything what is not needed, and from these materialists, is just meant for enjoyment, isn't it? So what's the use of these things? Just destroy our spiritual insight. So don't take anything from materialists. What is not needed, of course, we are not self-sufficient, even, but not prepared things, at least not from grains or something. Yes. There can, even in devotee communities somewhere, you get bread from the shop. And I'm not used to this, so sometimes I got bread and I don't even know this from the shop. I wouldn't take it if I would know. So don't take things from the shop, especially made things. If you take, of course, some flour or something then you prepare something for Krishna, that's okay, but not prepared things. Who knows what is in these different things from materialists? What to speak of their consciousness, but yes. Krishna explains in 9th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, Patram pushpam palam toyam yoma bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktupahritam ashnami prayatatmana. That things, he mentions bhakti 2 times in this verse. That he accepts if something is prepared with love and offered with love. Prepared with bhakti and offered with bhakti. Both should be there. If this is prepared without bhakti, why would you offer this? Yes. Do you think that Radharani would give Krishna things from the shop? to eat? I don't think so. Because it was not prepared with love for Krishna. Was it? No. Radharani would never give such things to Krishna that were not prepared with love for Krishna. How can you give such things to Krishna? It's not possible. So, but if a devotee prepares something for Krishna, Radharani would be very glad to offer this to Krishna, isn't it? And she would glorify this devotee. Yes, he's or she's better than me. Please accept this. Taste the love of this devotee. Yeah. She would be very glad to offer this to Krishna. But if some materialist without any care for Krishna prepares this for some material purpose, that he'll get paid for this or anything like this, I don't think that she would be prepared to give this to Krishna. We should take this very personally. Bhakti is personal path, a spiritual path. So yes, eat only Krishna Prasad that is prepared with love for Krishna. Yes. Then Krishna accepts. Yeah. Jihva vegam udara pasta vegam. And belly, of course, we should be very moderate in eating, not eat too much. And we can see if we are overweight, then we are eating too much. It's simple. There is not very mind-boggling. Do I eat too much or not? I just step on the scale and see. And if I have too much fat, I'm eating too much. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami was very strict for his fat disciples. He didn't like this at all. And he labeled them as sense enjoyers. So we should be careful not to engage in sense enjoyment too much, even in eating prasad too much. Of course, if there are some festivals like Janmashtami and such things, then it's pleasurable for Krishna that devotees are celebrating and eating sumptuous prasad. But otherwise, we should be very modest in our eating also. And of course, sex desire. This is a great topic, but I don't think that we have so much time to speak about this too much. It's quite a long, we speak for a long time already. But we should know this sex desire actually is the basic principle of material existence. Yes. Therefore, if we have this strong sex desire, we should definitely marry. And even then, we should be very careful and not engage in unnecessary sex, if possible. Yes. We should be very cautious about this sexual energy. And if we want to acquire this godly quality of being dhīra, or here it says Dhṛtiḥ, then we should understand that this sense enjoyment leads only to misery. Even sex engagement that is not meant for procreation just leads to misery. Yes. And nothing else, just misery. So we should avoid it and be strict to ourselves. But if it's not possible to avoid, we should definitely have sex with our wife or husband and not in any other way. That we should be very cautious. Therefore, this grihastha ashram is some kind of safety net. If you fall, you don't kill yourself. This is safety net for these acrobats in circus. They do great acrobatic things very high in the sky, and so we all devotees do very acrobatic things high in the sky. So if we fall, we can break all our bones. So, marriage is a safety net. So that we don't completely kill ourselves. But of course, this is not very good acrobat if he falls even in a safety net. He's not killed, so it's very good. But we should know this is not the purpose of acrobat, to constantly is falling into the safety net. One should learn the acrobatic things. And this is bhakti-yoga is the highest acrobat thing. To change our heart completely. From materialistic, selfish person to a lover of Krishna. So our focus should be, I want to love you, Krishna. I want to engage all my senses in your pleasure. This is my purpose of my life. Please help me in this regard. I am helpless. Yes. And this should be our mentality in our married life also. Don't engage unnecessary, if possible. But if you engage, you should have this consciousness. Please, Krishna, help me. I know this is just leading to misery, but you are my only refuge. Krishna, please help me. You should have this humble, helpless attitude. And then Krishna will definitely help us. Yes, without doubt. Hare Krishna. So, we'll speak. So, we'll stop here on this topic of Dhṛtiḥ. Although we could speak more and more, but it's not time. Is there any question or comment or doubt? Yes, please.
You mentioned the anger. I usually get angry with my children. It is okay, or because as you said, we shouldn't get anger anytime.
Yes. Anger, it can be used also as an act of mercy. Prabhupada used anger as an act of mercy. And the sign that we use anger as an act of mercy is that we can give up our anger immediately if everything becomes okay. Otherwise, it's a sign that we are under the force of material nature. Of this anger is tamagun, actually. So, if we become angry at our children, we can use it as a tool to protect them or to teach them something, not to repeat the same stupid thing again and again and again. But we should also very quickly become peaceful, immediately. Prabhupada could behave like Nrsimhadev, be angry as fire. But immediately he could become peaceful, completely peaceful. So anger was under his control. He was not under the control of anger, but other way around. So we should become a master of anger, not that anger is our master. So you can use anger in this way, but it should be under your control. Not that you are under the control of anger. You understand the difference? Yes. And your husband should apply his anger also for teaching the children properly. This is more his duty than yours. But of course, husband and the father cannot be always all the time with the children. There's also the time when mother is alone with children. So mother can also become angry, but not that she's carried away by her anger. So it should be under the control. Is this okay? Hare Krishna. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Pramanande Hari Bol.